Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into complex information and surface the most important, surprising insights just for you. Today, we're zeroing in on a piece of tech that, well, it might seem a bit niche at first glance. We're doing a deep dive into the WolfPack 4K 60Hz 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switcher with Coax audio. Our mission: to unpack what this powerhouse device actually does, why it's so vital for high-end video and audio distribution, and, what it tells us about cutting-edge AV system design.
Yeah, it's fascinating, actually. Devices like this WolfPack switcher, they step in to solve what can honestly become a real-world nightmare pretty quickly. Whether you're talking about a complex home theater, maybe a commercial space with screens everywhere, or even large public installations trying to manage lots of video sources and lots of displays, it just turns into a tangled mess without, a central command post. And a matrix switcher fundamentally is exactly that. It's a hub, or I sometimes think of it as a super smart traffic controller for all your video and audio signals. It lets you send any input signal to any output display seamlessly.
Okay, let's unpack that for a second. 16 inputs, 16 outputs. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an incredible number of connections. For someone wanting to build a really integrated system, what kind of, ultimate control does that actually unlock?
It unlocks a level of control that really does shift the paradigm in AV system design. You're right, this WolfPack switcher, it handles transmitting video and multi-channel high-res digital audio. So when we say 16 by 16, what that means practically is you can hook up, say, 16 different HDMI source devices. Think Blu-ray players, streamers, game consoles, whatever, and send their signals to any of up to 16 different HDMI displays, TVs, projectors, all at the same time.
Wow. So it's not just connecting more stuff. It's like you're commanding an entire media landscape from one spot.
Exactly. You've got to imagine having total command over your media. You could watch a different source on every single TV in a huge house or a multi-zone venue, all at once. Or, flip side, send the exact same football game to all 16 screens simultaneously. This 16 by 16 thing, it's a huge shift from those old fixed AV setups to something truly dynamic, totally user-defined. It's about, well, unprecedented freedom and complete control over where your content goes, especially across a large area. You're not physically swapping cables or buying multiple boxes for every screen anymore.
Right. Now, beyond just the sheer number of ports, the real core of a high-end system is the visual quality, isn't it? So let's unpack what 4K 60 Hz YUV 4.4.4 actually means for your eyes. As someone who really appreciates crystal clear visuals, what does that technical bit translate to?
Okay, yeah. For anyone really aiming for the best possible picture, that translates to, well, exceptional clarity and incredibly smooth motion. 4K 2K at 60 Hz means you've got that ultra high definition resolution 4 times full HD, but displayed at a really silky smooth 60 frames per second. And the YUV 4.4.4 part, that's about color sampling. It's the highest quality. It basically means you get the most accurate, most vibrant color representation you can without any compression artifacts messing with the color data. It's about delivering the picture exactly how the creator intended it.
Yeah.
And to make sure you get that pristine picture, the 18 GBP's video bandwidth is absolutely critical. This huge bandwidth, it isn't just a number on a spec sheet. It's proof of this relentless push for uncompromised data integrity. The insight here is that as content gets richer, more demanding, the pipes carrying it have to get bigger too. This bandwidth makes sure every single pixel of that high-res, high frame rate stuff flows smoothly, uncompressed through the switcher, no bottlenecks. Guarantees the picture quality stays perfect. It's a real bottleneck buster, in that quest for visual perfection.
Yeah.
Then there's compliance. It's HDMI 2.0B, HDCP 2.21.x, and DVI 1.0 compliant. As you probably know, HDMI 2.0B is a standard for modern 4K signals. And HDCP 2.21.x is just vital for copyright protection. It ensures your latest streaming boxes and Blu-ray players actually work.
Right. No dreaded black screens.
Exactly. And it can handle DVI 1.0 too, which means it plays nice with some older computer monitors or maybe professional displays you might have integrated somewhere. And when we talk about support for 8-bit, 10-bit, and 12-bit color depths, plus those various color spaces like RGB and YCBCR 4.4.4, 4.2.2, 4.2.0, the immediate takeaway for you is just incredibly smooth color gradients. Think of a perfect sunset picture without any weird banding lines. And color spaces like YCBCR 4.4.4, that's the gold standard for keeping all the color information. Basically what the filmmaker intended, you get. No compromise on vibrancy or accuracy. It's all about maintaining that original image integrity.
Okay, we've laid the technical groundwork, but the visual magic, that really comes alive when we talk high dynamic range, or HDR. This device lists extensive support: HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus Dolby Vision, HLG. For the enthusiast who really gets into the art of visual storytelling, What do these different formats actually add to the experience?
HDR high dynamic range. It's quite simply a game changer for visual immersion. It really is. It fundamentally boosts the contrast, gives you much, much brighter highlights, and offers far more vibrant, accurate colors than, standard dynamic range ever could. HDR10, HDR10 plus less Dolby Vision, HLG, these are basically different ways, different methods of encoding that HDR information. And while they might vary a bit technically, the goal is the same. Make the bright parts of the image really pop, reveal details hidden in the dark parts, and make the colors just explode with richness and lifelike intensity. It genuinely gives you this incredibly immersive, almost tangible picture quality that pulls you deeper into whatever you're watching.
Yeah.
Now, here's a really critical standout feature of this switcher. It's the 4K 1080p downscaler, and it works independently for each output port. This is hugely useful in, real-world setups.
Oh, okay. How so?
Well, think of this downscaler as having a universal translator for video signals. You can have a 4K source plugged in, right? And you can send that signal simultaneously to both your cutting-edge 4K displays and your older 1080p displays. And you don't need separate sources, and you don't lose resolution on your 4K screens.
Interesting. So the switcher figures it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The switcher intelligently downscales the signal just for the 1080p screens while keeping the full 4K resolution going to the 4K screens. That kind of flexibility simplifies complex setups immensely. It really bridges that gap between new tech and existing gear pretty seamlessly.
Right. That makes sense. We've seen how it handles the visuals brilliantly, but a truly immersive experience needs incredible sound, too. Let's explore how this WolfPack unit tackles the audio side. It seems to have significant capabilities there as well. What's the advantage of having audio de-embedded to coaxial audio from 16 HDMI output ports? What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a fantastic feature, especially for integrating with existing audio gear or, anywhere you need to split off the audio. Audio de-embedding basically means the switcher can strip the audio signal away from the HDMI video signal. It then sends that audio out separately through dedicated coaxial audio ports. This is incredibly useful if you've got, say, an older soundbar, maybe an amplifier, or even a multi-room audio system that doesn't have HDMI inputs but does take coaxial digital audio.
I see. So you can still use older kit.
Precisely. You connect your video via HDMI and your audio via Coax. It just gives you way more freedom in how you route and enjoy your sound. And what's also neat is its ARC support, audio return channel. When ARC is enabled on an HDMI output, it means the audio from your TV itself, maybe from its built-in Netflix app or its tuner, can be sent back through that same HDMI cable to the switcher.
Okay.
And from there, that ARC audio gets extracted to a coaxial audio output. It's actually a very convenient way to get your TV's sound back to your main sound system using the same HDMI cable that's already sending video to the TV. Simplifies the wiring.
Yeah, fewer cables is always good. And for pure sound quality, this thing boasts HDMI audio pass-through up to 7.1 CH HD audio, listing formats like LPCM, Dolby True HD, DTS HD Master Audio, Dolby Atmos, and DTS-X. For the audiophile out there, what does this really mean for the sound experience? What are they getting?
They're getting immersive cinema quality audio, uncompromised. LPCM, that's uncompressed audio, so zero loss of detail from the source. Dolby True HD and DTS HD Master Audio, those are lossless high-res codecs you find on Blu-rays, giving you incredible fidelity, amazing dynamic range. And the inclusion of Dolby Atmos and DTS-X means it can pass through those cutting-edge object-based audio formats.
Object-based, how's that different?
Well, think of traditional surround sound as distinct channels, front, center, surround, right. With object-based audio, individual sounds like a helicopter flying overhead or rain hitting the roof are treated as separate objects. These objects can be precisely placed and moved anywhere in the 3D sound space, including above you. It creates this incredibly immersive, almost tangible sound field that truly wraps right around you. It's pretty amazing. However, it's worth noting the distinction here. While the HDMI ports pass through all those high-res, object-based formats, the coaxial outputs have slightly different capabilities. They support LPCM 2.0, Dolby Digital Plus, and DTS 5.1,
Okay.
which just highlights the different strengths and uses for each output type, really. Coax is great for broad compatibility with a whole range of audio systems, while HDMI is for the absolute highest fidelity and those most immersive cutting-edge formats like Atmos.
Makes sense. Now, control is absolutely key for a device this powerful, right? To make it actually usable in a serious AV setup.
Yeah.
The WolfPack offers multiple ways. Front panel buttons, IR remote, RS-232, LAN, and a Web GUI, Why so many options? How does that simplify things?
Yeah, the sheer number of control options is a massive advantage for integrating this into all sorts of setups, from a, sophisticated home theater to a commercial facility. Front panel buttons are good for direct immediate access if you're right there, and iron remote is convenient for just casual use.
Sure.
But for the more advanced installs, RS-232 and LAN control, plus that Web GUI, they're invaluable. They allow the switcher to be integrated into professional control systems, things like Crestron, Control4, Savant, or even custom PC interfaces.
Oh, the big automation systems.
Exactly. Which means unified control over your entire AV system, often from just one touchscreen or an app. It really does solve that potential nightmare of juggling dozens of remotes and devices. And tying into that ease of use, it also supports smart EDID management and CEC consumer electronics control. For those familiar with AV complexities, EDID management helps your sources and displays talk to each other properly about what they can handle. It ensures you get the best picture and sound settings automatically without manual tweaking.
Right.
And CEC allows for some unified control across devices, like turning on your Blu-ray player might automatically switch the TV input. These features just simplify that whole handshaking process between devices, making these complex systems feel surprisingly simple to operate sometimes.
Okay, looking at its physical design now, it's a 1U rack-mounted design with front panel OLED display. What does that immediately tell you about its intended use? Where would you expect to find this?
Yeah, that design just screams professional install, or maybe a very dedicated home enthusiast setup. 1U means it takes up one standard unit of space in a 19-inch equipment rack. That's common in server rooms, dedicated home theater closets, or commercial AV racks. The front panel OLED display gives you quick status info and some basic control right there on the unit. And it's robust metal enclosure, the fairly compact dimensions, 440 millimeter wide, 200 deep, 44 high, and the weight, about 3.1 kilogram. It all points to a durable device built to be installed semi-permanently and just run reliably. It runs on standard AC power, draws around 77 watts, and it's engineered to work fine in typical equipment room temperatures and humidity levels.
All right, so we've pieced together this really impressive picture of the WolfPack Matrix Switcher's capabilities. Powerful stuff.
Sinful stuff.
But our deep dive uncovered a kind of surprising detail. This specific model is actually listed as discontinued. What does that tell us about the AV industry itself, and why is it still valuable, do you think, to understand a device like this, even if you can't buy this exact one anymore?
That's a great question, actually, and it highlights something critical about the AV world. The incredibly rapid pace of technological change. Even though this specific model is discontinued, diving into its capabilities is still really valuable. It shows us what was considered high-end, state-of-the-art fairly recently. Understanding these past high-end solutions helps inform us about what's possible today and what kinds of features to look for in the next generation products.
Okay, like a benchmark.
Exactly. It demonstrates the evolution of features, compliant standards like HDMI versions, HDCP, and just overall system design thinking in the industry. The real insight isn't just that tech moves fast, although it does, but that the core problems these devices solve, getting signals where they need to go reliably, those problems remain. The solutions just keep getting smarter, maybe smaller, more integrated over time. And the fact that HDTV Supply, Inc., the company behind WolfPack, is described as a 24-year global home for audio and video products and an HDBaseT.org approved adopter, that adds important context, too. It suggests that even if individual models change or get updated, the underlying quality, the engineering skill, and the innovation are likely consistent across the type of high-end AV distribution products they offer. They're not just, churning out gadgets. They seem to be at the forefront of constantly innovating how we experience audio and video.
We've really come full circle then. From decoding what first looked like pretty dense technical specs, we've gained a much clearer picture of what an advanced HDMI matrix switcher like this can actually do, its critical role in high-fidelity AV distribution, and the genuinely impressive range of features packed into one box. It really shows how a single piece of hardware can untangle a whole complex system.
Absolutely. And I think the key takeaway for you, the listener, is that understanding a product like this isn't just about, memorizing specific specs, not at all. It's really about appreciating the sophisticated engineering that goes into creating those seamless audiovisual experiences we often take for granted. It shows how complex problems like getting any movie from any source to any TV in your house reliably with pop quality are solved through clever, robust design and cutting-edge tech. It's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in both home and commercial entertainment.
Couldn't agree more. Even as technology moves so fast and specific products inevitably become discontinued, The foundational principles, the core capabilities they represent, they continue to shape how we experience digital media every single day. So it makes you wonder, what might the next generation of these switcher beasts look like? How will they keep pushing those boundaries? And for you listening, what truly stands out about the sheer power and control one central device like this can wield in a modern AV system? Something to think about.